All right, man. Let's talk about Rick Glazer. Um, put a post up saying that Showtime Boxing is going out of business. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live or drop video financially. Want to support the channel? Cash App $ CJ Good 313. Venmo CJ Good 313. PayPal link in the description. Hit the link tree. Appreciate everybody for supporting the channel. Um, yeah, shout out to my boy Ronaldo Garcia. He sent it to me, man. I appreciate that, man. He be sending me some good information. Um, Shout out to him, dude. Hopefully, you don't mind me saying his name because I probably never would have seen this tweet unless somebody else sent it to me. Nobody else sent it to me. So, but it was in the middle of the night when he sent it. So, shit, I turned it in early. um, but shit, that's the best way to stay out of trouble. You figure deal me. Um, so yeah, man, I'm about to post it up here, man. Like I said, make sure I hit the link tree, follow me everywhere, support the channel. Um, Hopefully boxing the heat up a little bit. Now it's just a rumor. I ain't saying it's true, but I did ask around a few places to people to let me know if it's true. So you know, to let me know if it's true. So I asked a couple people. So when they get back to me, I'll get back to y'all. Um, some convenience, like it's a dry ass weekend for your boy. So it is what it is. Stack money, get out the way. But Julius said he heard the same thing from Ring IQ. He said same rumor I heard earlier today, hence Espinoza's silence as of late and the lack of rollout for big fall schedule. Outside of one or two rumor state Showtime will be done in boxing after this year. Just a rumor, don't shoot the messenger. So Julius said he heard the same thing. Now printed nowhere yet. A decision has been rendered by the Paramount Global, the parent company Showtime. There will I think there will be no Showtime boxing after 2023 on cable or streaming. If there's any boxing at all by Showtime, it is exclusively for pay-per-view distributions. The pay-per-view numbers on Showtime, pay-per-view events upcoming will more than likely determine if Showtime continues on the pay-per-view distribution. I know someone will be doubting this. Please hold the insults, you doubters. So, I mean, uh, it's just a rumor. Like I said, I ain't heard nothing. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't really been privy to a bunch of box rumors. I ain't been too interested. I ain't been asking. Um, I know Munguia is supposed to be fighting John Ryder next. That's what I can tell you from that standpoint of view. Um, it's a rumor about Jamal Charlo and Jose Benavidez. Ty told me that it's supposed to be on the Andrade Benavidez undercard. I heard that's not true. That if that it is in the works, but it's gonna be its own main event. Now, that quick note before I get into the true get down, I heard Showtime don't want nothing to do with Charlo. That's what I heard. Showtime don't want nothing to do with Jamal Charlo and putting his fights on their platform. So take it for how you want to take it on that point of view. So so that's why they ain't rushing for him to come back um at all. So they're not rushing for Dog to come back, but nonetheless, if you listen to what Espinoza said last year, he said that Showtime, his interview, and he said that Showtime gonna be around. They basically gonna be around till early 2023, 2024. He said it's nothing like past that. He said basically they're gonna be here for the short term and nothing is long term, and they here for the here and now, here and now. They here for the here and now, and that nothing is long term. I don't know if y'all remember him doing that interview where he basically said that they got a deal through the early part, I think, of 2024 or the end of 2023. So he did say that Showtime was going to be in boxing for a short time, but he says nothing is promised long term rise. So he did say that nothing is promised long term wise in the sport of boxing. So he did come out and say that, I think this year or late last year when the rumors came out. Now, when Rick Glazer brought some rumors last year about Showtime was getting out of boxing, um, When he bought those rumors in last year, um, Espinoza fired back. And then the news came out that Showtime Boxing was going to be back for another year. And obviously, like I just said, he turned around and came out and said that, it was a short-term deal, that nothing is long-term in the business, and that, blase this, blase that. So yeah, he did turn around and end up, saying, kind of saying that they're gonna be around, I think, early part of 2024, 2023. So there's been rumors like this floating around for a long time about Showtime Boxing. And I even touched on it, like some, their regular Showtime fights is trash. I said it, like, man, nobody checking in for this shit. The main events, a lot of the undercards, is good, but ain't nobody checking for, a lot of them main events that they putting on. You know, come on, nobody really looking at the main events that they putting on. So that's one thing that you gotta look at. Nobody putting that shit on. So nobody really caring about it. A lot of the undercard shirts that a lot of the undercards that they was putting undercard fights they putting on regular Showtime is better. You know, they simply better, bro. So um um so the main events are not appetizing. And whatever you want to say or do, like, come on, man. I don't watch it, like Rolly versus Ishmael Barros. It ended up being an intriguing fight because Ishmael Barros, Rolly couldn't handle that power. You know, so at the end of the day, you look at some of the regular TV fights they putting on. It's they're not appetizing, bro. And I don't even watch Showbox no more. Come on, Manuel Rodriguez versus Manuel Lopez, bro. Come on, think about that for a minute. Um, you know, Frank Martin versus Artem. Who gives a fuck about that fight? Let's keep it real. Neri, I think Neri fought on there versus Saladar. Didn't even remember that fight. Ennis and Roman Vila was cool, but in the grand scheme of things, did anybody really care? No. Come on. Some of these cars they putting on, man, don't nobody care. Diamonds and J Rock, in the grand scheme of things, come on. Nobody care. Tim Zoo and Campo, solid car, but in the grand scheme of things, did anybody really care? There's no value in the cars they putting on regular Showtime. Boxing has become so it's worse than inflation in the real world, where rent is $1,000 and $1,200 for a studio apartment. The way they inflated some of these boxing purses and in their contracts, from what I hear, allegedly, they did have minimums. They have guaranteed main event spots, so you can't put them on their undercard. They make so much money that you can't stack the cars no more. So Al Heyman had overcompensated these suckers, and now the network saying y'all ain't worth that. Without Floyd Mayweather, Mayweather was the key. Mayweather fighting on the platform kept PBC getting whatever they wanted from Showtime. Now there's no Floyd Mayweather on Showtime to get them what they want. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Mayweather bought so much money, and when he fought once a year, that it didn't matter. They like, okay, we cut these little jerks some money and overpay their fighters. And now Mayweather was tired of Al Heyman allegedly, taking his money and paying him in increments over 20 years. Like he a fucking mortgage, a house mortgage. He got tired of that. That's why he started getting money on his own. He hired that dude from the UK to work out his businesses. He started doing exhibitions, and he cut out Haymon and started going directly to get the money. Exactly what 50 Cent told him to do from the beginning. 50 Cent said, this dude robbing you. I already went over that video. You can put Floyd and 50 with my channel name in. It should be the last Floyd and 50 video I did. So Floyd already separated himself from Al Haymon. He been cut out. He been going straight to the plug. That's what y'all don't know, or y'all don't want to believe. So all these dudes finding out right now that, oh, Al gonna cash at me and pay me in these increments. Anytime somebody holds your money, you supposed to return. They supposed to return it with some type of interest. They hold $10, at least give me $1 interest. Give me 11. They hold 100, give me 110, and so on, or however you want to do it. That's how the banks and other financial institutions do it. That's how they do it. So, but so yeah, without Floyd, it ain't no key. But you just look at the product, and then some of the products that's going on regular TV. All right, some of the products they putting on regular TV is trash. I mean, on pay per view, it's trash. Charles Martin, Luis Ortiz on regular pay per view. Andrew Ruiz, Cristiano on pay per view, regular pay per view. You know what I mean, pay per view. Caleb Plant and Benavidez didn't do good numbers on pay per view. Come on. Tank and Ryan did great numbers, but you would think, that would be enough to save the Cavalry. Crawford and Spence did solid numbers. They probably would have did over 1 million had the UFC had the UFC not went straight up with them. Nobody talk about that. And the UFC did more pay-per-view buys. Come on. Come on. Even the pay-per-views that they putting on is pedestrian. They're not doing the numbers that they should. So if the regular TV Showtime fights is trash, right? They trash. The pay-per-views is not doing the numbers they're supposed to do. It's smart business. We could take that money and put it elsewhere. But at the end of the day, when you risk doing this, you risk losing somewhat of a fan base. How many boxing fans got rid of HBO and never got it back again, not including HBO Max? Probably countless. But HBO, turned into a few other shows and they pivoted. Showtime is trash. I don't know why would you buy Showtime? But the part that's interesting that I'm gonna chew on for a second, that's interesting about this post, and that makes a lot of sense, is the pay-per-view numbers on Showtime pay-per-view events upcoming will more likely determine if Showtime continues on the pay-per-view distribution. Now, read that line right there. This line right here is the most interesting part. Now, I've said boxing is going pay-per-view, right? I said it. Boxing is going pay-per-view. They might as well just, basically make everybody just pay. They paying per card or paying per main event, however you want to look at it. Bob Arum says, all people do is pay for the main event. They don't care about the undercard. Right? And you got to understand, they deal up in 2025, I think. So boxing might get kicked out on the street just like the Olympics did. But that last line got a lot to do with Canelo Alvarez. This is why they got Canelo Alvarez over here. And their plan was to do Earl Thurman and Earl and Canelo and save the nation. That's what the plan was. And do big numbers and dupe the public. Instead of organically building fighters up and giving us big fights, they Al Heyman, you could tell he a crook. He moved like a crook. You know, he ain't nothing but the current version of Don King. That's it. That's it. And that last, when they say that the numbers hinge, then these upcoming numbers hinge on whether they're gonna continue distributing pay-per-views on Showtime. They got everything to do with Al Heyman. They got everything to do with. I mean, with Canelo Alvarez. So how Canelo Alvarez do versus Charlo, which the buzz ain't there. Maybe fight week it'll change, and probably Spencer Crawford too. And they know that's not gonna do well. They know that's not gonna do well. They already know that's not gonna do well. They know it. So they basically hinging their future on Canelo Alvarez and how he doing this fight. They doing a terrible job marketing it. They doing a terrible job, promoting it, or whatever you want to say. They doing a terrible job. Like, I don't even have no interest in the fight. I have zero interest in the fight. So basically, it's Canelo or nothing for Showtime. That's what it is. It's Canelo or nothing. And if Canelo and Charlo don't do big numbers, or at least Spencer and Crawford don't do big numbers, not sure if Tank gonna come back or that's up in the air. If somebody don't come back and do at least some big numbers, they're gonna be out in the street, and rightfully so. Fuck them. I told y'all boxing got to be destroyed before it can get back to what it was. Sometimes you just can't keep restructuring or reconditioning. Sometimes the whole thing just need to be thrown out and built from the ground up. And that's where the sport of boxing is at this point. And now it hinges on Canelo's shoulders. Canelo got the whole world in his hands. He got the whole world. It's all about Canelo. And this is what they get. Being mercenaries, creating sides of the streets, overpaying fighters to keep them from going to make other great fights. It wasn't just about keeping fighters from crossing the street. I mean, from signing with other promoters. That was a small part of it. It was to overpay them from taking the fights that the fighters wanted, taking the fights that other promoters was offering big money for. It was about, stopping regular boxing business, and Al Heyman letting his emotions and personal feelings get in the mix of good business. All these fake, fighters with their foundations built off styrofoam instead of cement, house built a bubble wrap, and when the fire hit that damn wood, all they do is burn, baby. They ain't been built up the right way. They ain't been calibrated the right way. They ain't been groomed the right way. They fakes, they shells of itself. And some of these fighters could have been really great fighters if they had somebody that knew what they was doing with their careers. Al Heyman is like an NFL or NBA owner who come in and want to run the team like it's a Fortune 500 business, or like it's a regular American or international business. And what you learned out real fast is that's not how it works in sports. You can't run it like you run a Family Dollar. You can't run it, like you run a Coca-Cola. It doesn't work that way. It's too many different variables that can get in the way. And Al Heyman tried to come and run this shit like a concert tour. He tried to run it like a Pepsi company. He tried to run it, like it was a McDonald's chain franchise. And you can't run this shit like that. In sports, it's just too many variables for change that you cannot predict. It's an unpredictable thing, especially in boxing. And if they do go out, man, hey, so be it. Al Heyman already working on another pivot. Trust me. But the thing about it is he done effed over everybody in the TV service. That's the truth. And his own just read up with Eddie, and his own just read up with Oscar. So what's that song? CL, what you gonna do? What's that? P Rock and CL Smooth. Take you there. Al Heyman, what you gonna do? You know. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live or drop a video. Financially, want to support the channel, Cash App, $ CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, the whole nine. Don't forget, check out my new channel right here on YouTube, Free Game 89, FR33 Game 89. Links in the link tree and in the description. Check out my Detroit channel, Motor City Sports Talk, more sports and news around the city of Detroit. That link's in the link tree in the description as well, too. Appreciate the love and support. Check out the Box Rumor playlist. One time for the one time. Goodfella TV. Peace.